In this short video, I'll be covering how to set the date and time on the Islander watch's Port Jefferson GMT. To begin, we want to remove the watch from our wrist and unscrew the crown. We have quite a bit of threading, so it might take a little while here. Once we've popped out to the first position, we want to pull the crown out all the way. This will stop the movement of the second hand. This is called hacking. And from here, we can start to set the time. You'll notice that the GMT orange hand is moving here at the bottom. This is a true GMT or a traveler's GMT. What that means is that when we set the time, we're actually setting the GMT hand, and then we have a jumping hour hand for the larger hour hand on here. So I'm going to be actually setting this GMT hand to my current local time, which is currently about 11:26 here right now. So if we look at the rheostat down at the bottom here, I say rheostat, it's more of a chapter ring. We're going to go to 1100 hours down at the bottom here. And then I'm going to set it to about 27 there. And we've set the time for the local time. Now you'll notice that the hour hand hasn't been set yet, so I pushed the crown back in. I'm going to give it a very gentle push out, and from here, we can then move the hour hand. Now this is also how we set the date. So if we look at the bottom there, we can see that it's 16 for the date, and of course today it is the 18th. So unfortunately with the Miyota 9075 movement, there is no quick set date, so we just have to cycle through with the hour only hand to get there. And now we're at the 18th, and I'm going to put it to the same time that we have right now. It's going to be up here. So I'm setting it to that time right now. One of the nice things with the Traveler's GMT, so let's say we set the time here. I am currently in this local time zone. Let's say I was going to go to the East Coast, so we're 2 hours ahead. I can push out to the first position here. And boom, now it's 11:27 on the watch, or 11:28 really on the watch. What's nice with that is that, like, for example, I'll be traveling from Mountain Time, so GMT -7, to Eastern Time later this week, GMT -5. I can have my watch set to the current home time with the GMT hand, and then just move the hour hand forward 2 hours, so I don't have to worry about actually resetting the current time on the watch. Now, that is one of the annoying things. We don't have a quick set date, but it's not the end of the world. It's not something I found to be a big inconvenience. While I've got the crown out, I can show this here too. If we push it in, but we aren't tightening it to screw the crown back in, this is the manual wind position. It won't come through on the audio for the camera, but I'm currently winding up the watch for the power reserve. And I'm going to push in and then twist to screw the crown back in. That's how we assure the 150 meter water resistance on this watch. And then one of the nice things with the Port Jeff GMT, at least this specific model, is we have a bidirectional rotating bezel. This would allow us to track a third time zone. So right now we're tracking our local time zone, which is there, so GMT -7, and then I'm tracking GMT -5 for Eastern time zone with the hour hand. We can then use the bezel to track another time zone using the 24-hour markers on the bezel. Now, without getting too nerdy, there are, I think, 31 time zones because it's counting half time zones, but this is factoring in all of the major 24-hour, I say major 24-hour time zones. There's 24 time zones for major full-hour time zones, but yeah, real simple. I will say that when I first set this watch about 4 months ago when I got it into test from Islander themselves, I had to do a little bit of looking into how to set it properly. One thing I've done, and this is just a me thing, when I'm wearing this as my daily wear, I actually keep the hour hand to my local time and then use the GMT for the second time zone, purely because I find that it's easier to read the larger hands than it is to read the GMT. So hypothetically, if I was staying here in Utah, and we're going to pull the crown out all the way, what I would do is set it, our time here, I would put it to about there for Eastern time, and then I would pull back the jumping hour hand to our time here, right? So technically speaking, this is not how you'd want to use it if you were actively traveling, but if you were just using the GMT hand for tracking a second time zone, that's the way to do it. But all in all, it's a great watch for the money, especially for how well the watch is finished, but this is just merely a short video on how to use the GMT function of the watch there. So I'll have a full review on this, both in video form and in written form before too long, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching.